I'm Mo Rocca, and I'm excited to announce Season 4 of my podcast, Mobituaries. I've got a whole new bunch of stories to share with you about the most fascinating people and things who are no longer with us. From famous figures who died on the very same day, to the things I wish would die, like buffets. All that and much more. Listen to Mobituaries with Mo Rocca wherever you get your podcasts.
We hope they stick around. Hi, this is Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wilkness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today's episode is Trends with Traction for 2022. So today we're talking about trends that were around in 2021 that we expect to be seeing for 2022. And these are trends that we think should stick around for a while.
And may even turn classic, because even white subway tile was a trend for a while, but that's clearly a classic.
Oh, absolutely.
So there'll be a lot of things we're talking about today that grew out of the fact that everybody was home a lot this year and really taking a hard look at their houses, trying to make them more comfortable and more personalized to make your house more your own. So these trends, I think, have a lot of traction.
I do too, and I agree with you. I think a lot of these trends have to do with people spending more time at home. So I think that is very much a part of what's going on here.
Right. So that's why these 2021 trends should stay around. We hope that a lot of them do stay around because they help you make your home better in so many ways, serve you better, more enjoyable to be in, more comfortable.
I'm ready to get started. Are you?
Let's go.
Okay. I'm very, very excited about this one. Vintage and antique. We have been saying this for so long. This is what to add to your home. These pieces typically are well made. They're better made than things that are made now. And they tend to have some details that you just cannot get now. This trend may have started with the supply chain issues.
Yeah.
But I think this is really going to continue. There's so many wonderful things you can say about these pieces. When I feature furniture on my Instagram and on my blog for sponsors, every time I do this, someone will say, oh, well, that's interesting, or that looks nice, but what's that piece behind it, or what's that piece over to the left? And the thing that they ask about is always an antique piece. And so, I mean, this is people recognize that antique pieces have details that you just don't see very often.
Absolutely. And the trend, I do think, had something to do with the supply chain, because then people started to turn around and say, well, where can I get something? Maybe a consignment store, maybe an antique store, maybe my grandma's attic. But also, and it shouldn't be a trend, it's a movement. It has to be, we have to live like this. Sustainability is so important. So yes. Reusing, repurposing these pieces, and also the rise of the grand millennial look and having younger people who are just getting their first apartment or people that are just buying their first home, they became more interested in antiques. Now, I don't know if that was just because of the supply chain or if it's just a convergence of all these factors. We told you, everybody, and I hope you did it when you first started listening to us in 2017. We hope you loaded up.
When the prices were low, because now I am seeing those prices go way up. And like I have not seen in several years. So I think this is going to continue.
Another thing that's going up is wallpaper. Wallpaper is gorgeous and everybody is trying it now. So if you haven't tried it yet, this is your year. Don't feel like, oh, that was just a blip on the screen in 2021, because we really feel like wallpaper is here to stay, even if it's the removable adhesive type. Try it, start small, maybe in a powder room or a guest room, or even using it in a panel like I have done, creating almost a piece of art from the wallpaper. This is a great idea to really add some color and life to your home.
Yes, I love wallpaper. So I do see some wallpaper in my future. Murals are hot and big scale prints are hot. Just really so many designs. It's really, I think, going in so many directions, because now you can even have custom printed wallpaper done pretty easily and less expensively than you used to be able to.
The collected look. I love this look. It's not one style. You're bringing in a lot of elements, maybe 2, 3, maybe even 4 different styles that you're like, it's not eclectic, which I think eclectic was almost purposefully disjointed in a way, because that was or is what eclectic is. The collected look is much more curated. And even though the pieces may be from really disparate eras or in geography, somehow they all work together. Keeping a neutral palette is a great idea if you like the collected look as well, because you will have a lot of different pieces, but it can be unified by a really limited color palette. So try the collected look if you haven't.
Dovetailing with that, personal touches. I think people much more now are interested in being a little more bold and adding something really unique to their home. And so I think this has to do with people spending more time in their houses, and they're kind of tired of looking at the same stuff, and they want kind of a wow in there. So I'm seeing more boldness in decorating and more of an interest in adding something very unique. You really don't want your house to look like a decorating catalog anyway, because that's just kind of impersonal and doesn't really show your unique style.
And that has to have derived from the fact that we were all home so much, because you had the opportunity to look around and say, oh, everything's kind of humdrum, or gee whiz, everything looks like page 14 from the Pottery Barn catalog. So I want to add something that really speaks to me, speaks to my family. I was just with a client the other day, and she was talking about this piece of art that she wanted me to come over and help her decide where to hang, and to get my assistant to come and hang it for her. And she would say, it's really, really heavy. It's really, really heavy. So I said, let me see what it is. And it's actually a sign, a street sign from this community that her husband's family has a property and her parents have a property, and it's kind of where they met, and it's very special. So this artist rifted off the street signs in this particular community, and it's this giant piece, and it's metal. But it's so personalized, and they're so excited to put it up. Now, had they not been home for all those hours and days and months, maybe they never would have thought about hanging something like that. But it's going to be great, and it really speaks to their family.
When we were talking about vintage and antique, you were talking about it being a sustainable style, but that's something I'm seeing as sustainable style. And I think it should be. I think we need to be thinking about, is this going to go in a landfill? So I think there's a lot of thought that we need to put into purchases before we buy a piece of furniture, and think about, am I just buying this as filler for 2 years or a year until I can buy this thing that I really love? Because if that's the case, maybe see if there's a way to hold off. Just the thought of it being thrown in a landfill just makes me cry. Now, if it could go to somebody, that's one thing, but a lot of times these cheap things fall apart, and so you can't even give them to somebody. So I think that's something we really need to think about.
Yes, I really think it's just something that now people are thinking about when they're making major purchases. I don't even want to call it a trend. Let's call it a movement. It's something that it's just going to be part of what we do when we make these decisions. We can't just keep buying stuff. I mean, IKEA's great, right? And for its purpose, it's great. But you just can't keep buying stuff every 3 years and then just putting it out when they have the big pickup for the trash. Hey, we'll be right back with the rest of the show, but keep listening so we can continue bringing you DTT. Inevitably, with the new year come wellness goals. One very effective and easy to reach goal is to add Dose to your wellness regime. Dose is expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Formulated with ingredients clinically shown to support liver health. Potent turmeric, milk thistle, and ginger. There's 0 sugar and 0 calories. Did you know that your liver performs over 500 special functions? Since I learned all that my liver is doing, I started with Dose to support all those vital functions. I take a shot of refreshing Dose 2 times per week to combat everyday toxins from food, meds, alcohol, and unhealthy air. Since starting with Dose about a month ago, I am definitely feeling an overall improvement in my health. So if you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health like I have, Dose is offering DTT listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. So go to dosedaily.co/DTT and use the code DTT. That's dosedaily.co.co/DTT and use the code DTT. Pesto pork chops over Parmesan polenta. Not that easy to say, but oh so easy to make with Green Chef. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit company for eating well, and we have such a great deal for you. You're going to save $250. Listen on for the details on that. Green Chef makes eating well easy for any lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals. You know, we're getting into the busy holiday season, so it's a perfect time to have Green Chef help you out. Let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season with their chef-crafted, nutritionist-approved recipes featuring fresh ingredients and nothing artificial. And you know what? You don't have to lose track of your healthy eating habits during the holidays. Every Green Chef customer gets a free session with their registered dietitians who will walk you through how to make clean eating work for you. So sign up for your free session and start on the road towards better health today. And that deal I want to tell you about, visit greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. So that's greenchef.com/DTT250 and use the code DTT250 for $250 off your order. A trend that came into being in 2021 is biophilic. Now, maybe that's a DTT to find one day, but we'll talk about it today. Biophilic has to do with bringing in colors and textures from nature. Don't just think plants. Think about the color schemes in nature, textures, maybe some woven things, some rattans, but definitely plants as well. And that definitely came from the fact that we were all staying at home during COVID because you wanted to have something organic around you, and it would make you feel so much better to just go and get a little plant or cut something from the garden and bring it inside, and it was changed the feel of the entire room. So biophilic, if you see that any place or you hear someone say it, that's what it is. It's basically bringing in colors and actual items from nature, even if it was a branch or some driftwood or stones even, or shells, anything like that would be considered biophilic. It's so nice to be around nature, particularly if you have to be in your home working, or if and when people go back to their offices. Bring your crystals, bring your plant, bring it with you to your office.
Yeah, bring that outside, inside if you can, or open up those shades so you can see the greenery outside. I think that's helpful too. So something else that we've been seeing are coffee bars. You know, maybe you're working from home and you're not in the office, so you're missing that great setup where you can just go get your coffee. And we've set up one in our house so we can get a cappuccino here. We don't have to run down to the coffee shop. And then I have a hot water dispenser, so it keeps my water hot, so I can go in there at any time and go get my cup of tea, and the water is the perfect temperature. So, and I don't think I'm the only one. I mean, this is something that a lot of people are doing. It's just very comforting to have in your home, and it's very inviting not only for you, but for guests coming to your home.
So do you find that you kind of walk over and kind of hang out, waiting for somebody to come by and chat like you're the water cooler? Hey, what are you guys doing this weekend? I can't believe we have to work till 5:30 today.
Yeah, well.
People are also, besides coffee, adding bars to their homes, or bar carts are very popular. You couldn't go out to a bar, so you brought it into your house. And then you start to like the idea, like Anita saying, just kind of moseying over and getting a cappuccino at 2 p.m. and maybe, 5 p.m, you're making a cocktail or something. So these are all things that where we're making our homes places that we really want to be in, not just a place that you pay the rent or pay the mortgage and you're out of all the time, and then it's just chores on the weekend. We're creating these spaces that really are serving us. And I think that that is one, maybe it's the only one. There's one great thing that came out of staying at home as much as we all have.
Well, I do like that one of the things that came out of it was that people now are focused on their home and they can't ignore it anymore. So I like that people are investing in them and making them more of a sanctuary for their families. So I think that's been a good thing. So another thing that we're seeing are repurposed furniture. And this is a fun thing to do, is to take a piece that maybe was meant for one purpose and use it for another. So like you can use a table as a kitchen island like Kelly does, or you can use a chest as an island, as a kitchen island. Another thing, I mean, these are just, there's so many things that you can do, but one of the things I did was I took a French armoire that had a mirrored front. And, well, actually, I had someone do this for me. I did not do this myself, but he took the silvering off of the back of the mirror and then put shelves in. And now it's a display case for my dishes and silver. So, I mean, there's just so many things that you can do to really, especially with antiques, because maybe the intent at one point was for something that is no longer needed. So there's just a lot of things you can do to repurpose furniture. And I think it's just a fun, clever thing to do in your home.
Well, remember way back when, I don't even know if we were blogging friends then, but when I repurposed the big red sectional, because I felt terrible about it going to a landfill, even though the cushions and the fabric really needed to go, I stripped it all down and then I made it an outdoor sectional for my patio.
Wow. Oh, wow. See, what a great idea.
I also had some help doing that, but yeah, it was a really great idea. And it kind of came because I felt bad about that. And I dragged it out onto the patio because somebody was going to come take it away. And this was at our other house. And when I pulled it out, I was like, wow, it fits perfectly in this corner of the patio. But I can't leave it out here because it's got cushions and fabric and all of this. And I thought, well, what if I took it apart? And I just started pulling it apart. And it was great.
Well, so does it have a wood frame?
It had a wood frame, yeah.
So did you have to treat that in some way? Or do you even get rain where you are?
Oh, we do get rain, not as much as we would like to get right now, but that was maybe 8 years ago. We were getting more rain then.
Mm-hmm.
I treated it with marine varnish.
Wow, what a fantastic idea. I had forgotten that you'd done that, but I love that. That is really amazing because it looks fantastic. I've seen it so many times. It's beautiful.
Yeah, people were pinning that like crazy because they were like, hey, can I do that to mine? Yes, sure you can, you know. And we ended up moving maybe 4 or 5 years later on, but the people who bought the house, they wanted to keep it and it was perfect. And as I said, it fit perfectly in the patio. So I just left it for them. Speaking of wood and treating wood, warmer woods are really in vogue, on trend in 2021. And I think they're going to continue into 2022. I think the white is gone.
Absolutely.
Right? You don't even see that so much on Instagram anymore. And every once in a while, I'll see an account. And while it's beautiful, it just kind of leaves me cold, you know, and hollow. So I do like the warmer tones so much.
Mm-hmm.
Designing for wellness. Again, something more like a movement rather than just a trend. This is, as we're saying about the sustainability and the repurposing, it's just something we're all going to need to be doing, not only for the planet, but for ourselves. So much of what goes on at home and your family is taking care of people. And then if you're working outside the home, all these things that you're doing, you really need to prioritize yourself at some point too. And maybe because we had a little bit more time and maybe some people were under a lot more stress this year with everything that was going on, they were carving out time for it, almost maybe like survival mode. So, but this is great to incorporate into your home. It doesn't have to be standalone sauna or spa. It doesn't really have to be much of anything, just something that supports you and makes you feel good. Even if it's the cappuccino bar, or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's something, a coffee machine or an herbal tea setup, something that's going to support you.
So I hope you didn't go out and paint all your furniture that was stained. At one point, everything had to be painted, and now the stained wood is considered very warm and inviting, and it's hot now.
So what is the challenge step today?
The challenge step today is for your living room, And last week we did a Pinterest board or a mood board to kind of collect inspiration ideas. So this week we are looking for an overarching style for the room. So you're going to look at all of these photos, kind of go over everything and select a style for the room. Now, that's not to say that you can't vary from that and put other things in, but you kind of want a focus or a direction. And so that's kind of helping you kind of pick a style, because you don't want 15 styles in there. You kind of want one main style, and then you can put in some bits and pieces from other styles to go with it. And then you're also going to be selecting your colors for the room. And same thing here with the colors. You want 2 or 3 colors to be your main colors. You can bring other colors in. You want to have some sort of unifying theme with the colors.
That's so fun. So how do you suggest they choose the colors? Would it be getting paint chips, getting swatches, just pulling things from the Pinterest board or the mood board that they created?
Well, I think all of those work. I mean, really, what I would probably do is look at all these rooms that appeal to you and kind of see what the dominant colors are in those rooms. Are those the colors that you like? If those aren't the colors that you like, then I would continue looking on Pinterest for some specific colors that you like, or go to the fabric store and start looking at fabrics, and you can look at all these different fabrics. I mean, that's really a great way to kind of see what you're really drawn to.
Yeah, I like that idea of going to the fabric store, even if it's not a fabric that you're necessarily going to use. Maybe it's out of your price point, or maybe there's just maybe too much going on in the pattern or something like that. But if the colors resonate with you, you can use that as a springboard to creating your palette.
I think that's a great idea.
So what's the define?
It is, I'm sure you know what this is, but it's an Etagere.
You said it so nicely.
Well, don't ask me to do it again. But this is a freestanding set of open shelves, and it's typically used for displaying accessories, but it also can refer to a small work table consisting of shelves or trays, one above the other. So I'm sure you've seen these many times all over the place.
Now, would you say that that's very different from a bookcase? Because the bookcase would necessarily have a back and sides, right? So this is all open.
This is all open, correct. Now, some bookcases are open on the back, but this needs to be open all the way around. Traditional etagere that we would think of would have metal legs,
right?
But they don't have to be.
I think they're very versatile, and I always think of them as tall and thin.
Mm-hmm. Not great for books, though, because you really need those sides and the back for the books. So this really is just for display of, just some accessories, and maybe a stack of books here and there.
Exactly. Maybe using the books, on the horizontal, or using them as risers or something like that. But I think it's a really versatile piece of furniture, particularly if you have a room that has a lot of heaviness to it. If you have a lot of wood furniture, or you have a sofa without legs that, goes to the floor, so everything feels really substantial. This is a piece where you can add some lightness, but you still have the opportunity to decorate it and create your vignettes and add a little personality to the room without it feeling like another really heavy piece. I like them a lot.
That's true. They tend to be very open, and just look around, because some of these are just works of art on their own. They're so beautiful. You
can get them in any different style. I've seen them in very traditional wooden ones. You could get them in rattan. You could get them with the metals and the lucite. I would just caution, because it's a lot of open shelving, you just have to be careful of overdoing it with your vignette. You don't want a full-blown vignette on every single shelf, because sometimes these are really tall, so you might have 6 or even 8 shelves. I would maybe do a couple of big pieces, particularly towards the bottom. Maybe even you just do like a basket or something in the bottom. Break it up a little bit. Just don't have different vignettes on every level.
Fewer, bigger, rather than lots of smalls. Yeah. And that's the way to go with it.
I agree. Even one low vase or something, you don't even have to put flowers in it. It could be really beautiful. Green Chef is a delicious delight any time of year, but especially during the holidays. What a wonderful vision to behold as the Green Chef boxes on your doorstep. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating well. And it makes eating well so easy, with plans to fit every lifestyle, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat a more balanced diet. So let Green Chef take the work out of eating clean this holiday season. And if you've got guests coming, shop Green Bundles. They're now available at the Green Market. It's your one-stop shop for nutritious grab-and-go breakfast, including vegan options, brunch kits, wholesome lunches, ready-to-eat snacks, veggie sides, and more. You can feel your best this December and do your best with Green Chef because they offset 100% of the delivery emissions as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Go to greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT and get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. greenchef.com/60DTT and use the code 60DTT to get 60% off plus 20% off your next 2 months. Go ahead, clean out your closet, then head straight to Quince. I love every item Quince offers, from wardrobe to decor, and I can really recommend their Ultra Stretch Super Wide Leg Pant at $49.90. The price is unbeatable, and the look is so flattering. It keeps you in on top and flares out of the bottom. Everything feels right with Quince. The price, the quality, and the sustainability. Quince offers a range of luxury wardrobe and home goods at prices within reach. And like Quince's clothing, their home goods are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. Once you've cleaned out your closet and refreshed with Quince, you can also add something to your home decor. So give your wardrobe and your home the refresh it needs with Quince. Go to quince.com/DTT to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DTT. And let me know how you love those pants. So what's your crush, Anita?
My crush, oh boy, is my new baseboard buddy.
No. Baseboard buddy. Oh.
Well, it sounds so silly.
Wait, we talked about baseboards. I don't know how many episodes ago it was.
Well, I know, because you threw me off because I thought, okay, I've got this cleaning down, and you're like, oh, the baseboard. I'm like, the baseboard? I have to clean those too? I'm like, what? Because I completely forgot.
So you went and found a buddy, huh? Okay.
Well, I needed a buddy. Well, and then, if I have to go around on my knees all around the house cleaning that baseboard, I'm going to be a grumpy person, and you're not going to want to see me around the water cooler.
No, you're not going to want to bump into you at the coffee station water cooler.
No, I'm going to be very, very, very cranky. Yes, you won't want to be around me unless it's the wine cart. So that might be helpful. But So, I need my cleaning tools. So this thing, I would kind of looked online. I'm like, what am I going to get? So this thing's it's got a long stick, like a handle, I guess is a better word. It's already got this cloth on it, and it kind of goes around and kind of molds to your baseboard. And it did quite a nice job. It's not bad. You can use it dry, but if it's really kind of gunked up, then, if there's a lot of dust, you're going to want to put, spray your cloth with some sort of cleaner, and that'll help you clean it off. But I've done the whole house, and I'm still in a happy mood. So there you go.
Wow, well, that says a lot right there. So it's not electric; it's just something that you use.
No, it's just
your hands.
It's like, well, the main thing is that it's on this long. It has a long handle. So the big difference is you're not having to get on your knees to go clean everything, and it did a nice job on the fronts of my cabinets too.
Oh.
But, most things that are on a handle that you might clean with aren't shaped. This is kind of shaped to go around a baseboard.
Well, yeah, it's a niche product, the baseboard buddy, right?
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
All right, well, I might have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. And about your crush?
Mine is very different than that. It is the Aphrodite Love Box, created by my friend Heather Pando. Her business is Little World Design. And I got a look at this Aphrodite Love Box the other day. I went over and actually brought a coffee, not from my own coffee station, but from Starbucks, to my friend Heather. I hadn't seen her in months and months and months. Heather is a wonderful artist. She is all about connecting with Mother Nature and using elements from nature. So very Say it together with me, biophilic. Her designs are gorgeous.
Oh, yes.
And the Aphrodite Love Box is so beautiful. But she does have other boxes, and she has other beautiful bespoke creations on there. So you get a candle, you get one of the everlasting bouquets that's wrapped in the birch. Now, people who were frequenting bespoke decor might recall.
I was going to ask. Yes.
We had a limited edition of these bouquets, but the bouquet is different. This is with red flowers that are so beautiful. And then the birch is wrapped with hand-torched hearts. And then you get some white sage, and there's this gorgeous hand-poured candle, and there's crystals involved. It's just stunning. And what an amazing gift for someone for Valentine's Day or any day of the year. So I'll have the links to Heather's shop, her website, and her Instagram all in the show notes for you.
Wonderful.
Well, this was so much fun. I really am a firm believer in so many of these trends/movements that we talked about today. I think they're so important. It's good to think about some good things that came out of being at home so much. I think that we learned a lot in 2021 about our homes and how we want them to serve us and make us happy and provide us with coffee and wine and all those good things. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.